Hello and welcome to Let's Learn Computing. I'm Todd Colwell. Today's tutorial is to create a racing game with Kodoo Game Lab. It's for Windows PC, the subject is computing, and it's for children ages 9 to 12. To do this lesson, you'll need to make sure that Kodoo Game Lab is installed on your computer at school, and you might like to have a think about how racing can integrate with what you're doing in the curriculum. The lesson concepts today are that children will be decomposing the problem of how to make a race game into the smaller parts. So how to program the human player to move with the keyboard, how to program the computer player to move by itself, and to look at variables. We're going to look at the variable of hit points to make some more action, some combating each other. And we'll look at how to set input from the keyboard and how to get something to move along a path. The easy activities are to have one character controlled by the player using the keyboard, and another character, which will be the computer player. It will race along a predetermined path, and also to have a finishing object. So when either the human player or the computer player touches the object first, which is placed at the end of the race line, the game will be finished. So first of all, we need to put down some terrain. To do that, we use the brush tool and then click up here with these squares to select the different types of terrain available. There's two different types. If you go to block mode and raise the ground, it will be all blocky. If you press the down arrow, it can go down to this smooth mode. So I think this would be more suitable for racing games, particularly those which are not like Kodoo and don't hover above the ground. Alright, after that I want to select the circular brush tool to get a nice smooth track. Right button to remove the track and the left button to start placing the track. Alright, now that we've got our track, we can also go to some of these tools, and I'll let the children to experiment with these. They're for raising and lowering the ground and also flattening the ground. So just quickly we can raise some of the ground there, some of the ground here, but I want to get on to the coding part of the activity today. If I just zoom up there, you can see, remember to click the hand tool to move the track around, left key to pan, and the right key to see it from a different view like that. Alright, just make sure that there's not too much blocking the path so that both of the bots can get through in the race. Alright, so this looks like quite a good place here to start placing the objects. Click on the Kodoo to click the objects menu and click on the ground where you want to place the Kodoo. And this one can be red. That will be me, the human player, and then I need another Kodoo, and that will be the computer player. I can change its color to blue. Alright. Now for the red one, for the human player, right click, program, it goes like this. When we use the keyboard and we use the arrows in the keyboard, we want to move quickly. Alright, and for the blue one, program, when, now we need to go to more, always do move, and it's going to move on a path. And just to be fair, we better put quickly as well. So you notice that on the path one that we had several different colors. So if the children are going to have several more characters, the computer players that they're racing against, they'll each need their own colored path to not confuse the computer. So now we need to go to the path. For circular tracks, we can just keep clicking and it will place one of these nodes down. Now when we press escape and our path is completed, we'll be able to see the robot move along the path. Okay, so that's looking good. Next is to do a finishing object. So again, click on the objects menu and make sure you click right at the end of where you've placed the last node of the path, and it can be any object you like. I'm going to choose a castle, and then I have to program the castle. So right click on the castle, program, when it's bumped into by anything, well, you could put Kodoo, do game win. So let's have a look at that. And I'll skip to the end. Now we have a nice winner screen at the end there. The medium activities are to have a countdown at the start of the race, and we'll also then go and look at some combat options. So first of all, I need to click on the menu right at the end here on the right, change world settings, and this one shows you which you can do at the start of the game. Start the game with nothing at the moment, that's the default. If we start the game with a countdown, that will be much better for racing. Now for the combat options, and I'm going to get a missile to be fired when the space bar is pressed for the human player, and for the computer player, it will just fire a missile automatically in whatever direction it's facing every 3 seconds. So for the human player, right click, program, when the keyboard is pressed and the space bar, which is in miscellaneous, space, go to shoot. Shoot what? I'm going to use a missile. Now there's the option for the missile to go as a cruise missile, or if the missile hits the mountain, then it just smashes into the mountain. So I'm going to have a cruise missile. And for the computer player, right click program, when, and it's going to go to timer, and plus to say, well, how much time? 3 seconds. Shoot a missile, and also make it a cruise missile. Right, so once I start that, I'll just show you. If I get in the way of a missile, then what will happen is that the Kodo will just explode. So in order to avoid that, I will need to do some more programming and introduce the idea of a variable, and that's going to be hit points. Now the hit points will make the game last longer, and it will be important because you can set how many times the Kodo is hit by a missile before it explodes, instead of just the first time. Now I'm going to also show the health of the hit points and say how many times that is. So go to, not program this time, but to change settings, and then this is for the speed. It's worth having a look here, but for now we're going to go to this one, show hit points. So a little health bar will be on the top of the Kodo, and then the maximum hit points, I'm just going to set this to 10. Now I've got the hit points showing at the top for each Kodo, and I've set both of the hit points to 10. It's time to teach the computer how to take away those hit points. And then when, then we go to more, then we go to shot hit, and then when we hit a Kodo, we want to go to combat, and then we want to damage the Kodo, 2 points. So I'm going to say that it takes 5 shots to hit it and to make it explode at the end. Now you need to do that with both of the Kodos. Now another common feature related to hit points is the idea that if you collect a certain object along the path of the racing game, then you get back some of your health. So to do an object like that, click on the objects menu and make sure we click on the path to be fair to the other Kodo. This time we'll go down to objects, and there are many different objects. I'm going to use a heart since it's for health, and then right click on the heart to program it, and it goes like this. When the heart is bumped into by a Kodo, we want to do, now it's in combat, instead of damage we go to heal and program how many points to heal. So I'm going to have the same healing power as a missile hit, so heal 2 points. So let's see the whole thing in action now.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so you can see, remember I'm the red one with the keyboard and the blue character's going by himself. And I can try and shoot him with a missile. So I've hit him once, and then you can see his health has gone down. And let's see his health go back up when he gets to the heart. And it's gone back up, so that's working well. Now for a real challenge activity, the children can add extra levels and also have a go at doing different environments. So I'm going to show you an underwater level. So go back to Kodo. Now you can actually program the castle and right click on that. So when you bump anything you win the game, but also when you bump into the castle, do game next level. Alright, and then it'll say, the first time it'll say you don't have any levels selected, so you need to go to change that, and then I've made a level already. I just called it level 2, then you click attach. Alright, so after that we can see we can play the game. Now I'm going to cheat here to be a bit quicker. I'm just going to touch the castle straight away and go backwards. It'll say I won the game, or make sure you have to save your work, save, and then that's okay. And then you can see I've created the hills and valleys, and in the middle I've used the underwater tool and have the characters as fish. And the idea of this game is to touch the starfish first. Alright, so just a reminder, I've got the path tool for the two fish,